In this video, I'm going to show you the proven 5-step model that I use to build, test, and perfect your digital agency offer. Now, for context, I'm going to break down the exact 5-step process that I use in my agency growth company that we started a few months back that is completely focused on scaling agencies in a one-on-one setting. This is by far the fastest way that I have found to get a digital agency off of the ground with an offer that people really, really want. They will come to you, they will ask for it because they will see other people using your offer and absolutely loving it. Now, listen, just because I said this is the fastest way does not mean that this is a get-rich-quick scheme. It does not mean that you're going to watch this video and be rich tomorrow. It means that if you apply what I'm showing you, you should have a very solid offer within about 3 to at most 6 months if you do exactly what I tell you the way I tell you to do it. So go ahead, make sure that you remove all distractions. This is not going to be a long video. Focus up for 2 seconds. I shouldn't have to put Maze Runner or Subway Surfer at the bottom of this video. Let's lock in, pay attention, and let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, again, this is what my agency clients are paying quite a bit of money for. You can get this for 100% free. Just because it's free does not mean that this is not enough content to change the way you approach your business. So focus up, remove distractions, and let's jump into it. The first thing that we are going to do, step 1, is you need to select a niche. Now, right away, I've already lost a lot of people because you're looking for some kind of special answers as to how you can take money from anybody. You need to pick an industry. Listen, I know you've heard this a million times. I do not care. This is where so many agency owners screw up. So many. Somebody waves a credit card in front of them and boom, they're distracted. They go do whatever they can do to get that credit card. They either don't pick an industry or they pick one so broad to say they niche down that they may as well just go ahead and say they're doing anything for anyone. You have to be painfully specific here. The more specific you get, the better. Now, my go-to when you're niching down is always going to be local service-based businesses. I'm talking plumbers, electricians, remodelers, roofers, lawn care guys, lawyers, accountants, photographers, videographers, private practice, medicine, right? Anything like that. Now, don't think that you're working with all of them. Remember, painfully specific. You're picking just one. Just one. And again, the more you niche down, the more lean that your business will be and the better clients you will attract. Basically, what's going to happen is your messaging becomes targeted and fulfillment becomes much faster, as you're going to see as we go into the model perfection. Okay. Now, a great piece of literature to read on this is Peter Thiel's 0 to 1, co-founder of PayPal. And he talks about how specific you need to be in the industry and then how in that specificity, you need to essentially 10x your offer to be better than anyone else and create your own space. Again, great book, great piece of literature, Peter Thiel's 0 to 1. So step 1, select a niche. Let's say, very quickly, let's say you have a niche and you're still struggling, you're still having to lower your prices. It's because you have not niched down enough and you have not created enough value in that space. This is what I'm going to now show you what to do. So now we're going to go on to step 2. In step 2, we need to find 2 main things. We need to find their dislikes and their wants. These are going to mirror each other. If you dislike something, you probably want something in exchange or in its place to address the dislike. If I don't like going barefoot in the rain, I probably need or want shoes or rain boots, right? Giving you some really easy examples here. Now, once you have your industry dialed in, you can understand exactly what it is that they want. If you try to service everybody, if I say, hey, I'm working with every business ever, what do they want? Well, they want leads, they want conversions, they want funnels, they want websites. And you see how generic and vague that is. But if I say I want to work specifically with this group of people, now I can find their specific likes, their specific dislikes, their specific wants, their specific needs, and I can create a very specific solution that they will come running to me for. Okay, this is the idea. Now, how do I do this? Okay. Pick up the phone, make some calls, shoot some social media posts out there. But again, pay attention. You're not selling in this phase. You are strictly doing market research. All you need to ask them is, what is the biggest problem you have in your business? And what are you doing to overcome it, address it, solve it, fix it? That's it. Then you just let them talk. It is that simple. People will tell you everything, what they want, what frustrates them, what they're trying to do to fix it. And if you do this right, you will start seeing the solution paint itself. It's like you're cutting a bonsai tree and it's starting to reveal itself, right? The dots will be placed and you will just have to connect the dots. It is truly that simple. Now, if you try to skip this. If you mess this process up because you want to do research online, or you want to, go to forums, or you want to Google it, or you want to ask ChatGPT, if you do anything to avoid talking with people, I promise you, you will fail. You will fail. It is great to have that supplementary information where you can look at Reddit forums and Quora forums, and you can go on Google and see what people say, but you need to speak to these people. It's not an option. You have to do it. Now, once you do that, like I said, step 3, you will build an offer around what they tell you. It is that simple. It is really that simple. Anytime somebody brings to me a crap offer, they've almost always skipped step 2, because then what they do is, with their half research, their poor research, what they do is then they build an offer around that really bad research, and then they're wondering why nobody wants it. Well, you didn't even ask them what they want. So now that you know what they want, what they can't stand, how they want things done, it is time to build your offer. Do not overthink it. Do not build out the whole thing. We are going to start by putting together what's called an MVP. This is a minimum viable product. It is the bare bones of what you are going to create. Why? Because you haven't worked with anybody in this space yet. So why would you build out everything when you don't even know what they want? You just need enough of a product, whether it's a flow chart, a mind map, breaking down a slideshow, a presentation, just enough of a product where you say, this is the problem in the space, and this is what we do to fix it. Here's how it impacts you. Very, very simple. Remember, you are not spending weeks building out a fancy website or a full-on product, okay? You're offering a simple solution that addresses the problems that you've uncovered in step 2. You see how these all connect, they all compound, okay? You have to do this in this order. So again, you are offering a simple solution that addresses the problems that you've uncovered. Then you sell the idea that you are building around them, okay? So let me give you an example. Somebody tells you in step 2, well, billing clients is a nightmare. I never know when to do it or how to set it up. And I've heard this all the time, especially from like the lawn care space or the blue collar space. When do I bill them? How do I set it up? Do I use this software, that software? So this tells you to create an idea within the given context of how to set up their billing around their needs, their likes. Are they at the office? Are they on the go, right? This is where you can solve problems with creativity that led you to want to become an entrepreneur. And by the way, if you are in my program, Say So University, I actually help all my people do this for 100% free if you're in the program. Now, moving on, you are then going to build this offer with one client. So step 4, you have your MVP. You're going to work with one client for up to 90 days. This is it. You're just working with one client for up to 90 days. So now you have an offer. It is time to get your first client. So again, you're not going to get a client. Let's bring out the old pen right here. This isn't happening if you don't build an offer that they want. You're not going to build an offer they want if you don't find the research. And the research means nothing if you don't pick an industry. It all ties back to selecting an industry, okay? Selecting a niche to work with, and you can see how it compounds so positively here. So what do we do in this stage right here, okay? Now that you have an offer, get that first client. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to offer them a deal. You have to incentivize them because you have no proof of concept, because all you're doing is you're just starting out and you have a minimum viable product. So you can tell them something like, hey, I'm building something out new in this space. If you want to cover my costs, if you want to pay me half my rate that I'm going to charge in the future, if you want to get the full rate, but I'm giving you way more value because I'm going to work with you pretty consistently, all I need is feedback for the next 45 to 90 days. If you love it, great. We'll keep going. If not, no harm, no foul. I'll just need to move on to somebody who's going to give me that feedback, because the entire purpose of this piece right here is building out a product that people really want. So you need somebody in the space. You need someone in the space to pick their brain, to figure out what they like and dislike, to communicate. If they're not willing to communicate, I'm telling you now, it's going to slow you down. You need to cut bait and move on, okay? So this 90-day period is going to be what really sets up. This is where you're really putting together, everything up until this point has been kind of theoretical. This is where you're really putting this together in a software, in maybe high level, in WordPress. Maybe you're creating your marketing templates. Maybe you're creating your process and how you develop it. Whatever it is, this is where you are building it. So here's what I like to do. It doesn't matter what industry, what space you go to. Here's what I like to do. Every 2 weeks, I'm going to ask them a few questions. These are the 5 questions I ask them every 2 weeks. What do you like and what do you not like about what you currently have, whether it's what I built or what somebody else built? This will give you ideas as to what they want, right? If they don't like it, then you need to change it. If they do like it, don't change it. Don't try to change them, right? Very simple. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you want? What don't you want? And how can I improve this experience for you? This is a super, super, super important question. This will give you all the insight you need to fine tune your offer, your process, and even your communication style. And I'm going to give you a huge pro tip that I see is the number one cause for people losing clients. The client experience is as important as client fulfillment. Experience refers to, just to keep it super simple, experience refers to how the client feels from the moment that they agree to work with you until the project is done. So what does the onboarding look like? What does the communication look like? How often are they updated? Through what channels are you updating them? What kind of information are you giving them? Is it clear? Is it concise? Do they have action items? How are you communicating with them? And you're just going to ask them these 5 questions every 2 weeks. Now, once you've done this, you're going to move on to step 5, and you're going to perfect it with another 2 to 4 clients. So what you're going to see, especially in this stage, is you're going to have about 50% of your product built out by the end of this. You could say 30 to 50, but it'll be about 50%, no more than 50%, because you're building out your product, you're building out your process, but it's around one client. So then now the important piece is you want to perfect this. But what you're going to notice is that when you perfect it with 2 to 4 clients, you're not only perfecting the process, you're also perfecting the repeatability of the process, the scalability of the process. So now you're saying, okay, I know how to build it out, but now how do I take what I have and how do I duplicate it? How do I templatize it? How do I productize it? So that way, when I get another client, I know, okay, cool. I only need to change this. I keep this, I adjust that. And in doing that, you build your process, your SOPs, standard operating procedures, you build your product, you build your any documents you need. So that way you have your emails, your templates, right? So you have all of your process mapped out. And so once you do this, then what you're going to see is your product is going to be about 70 to 80% of the way done. So think about it. Just by niching down, look what's happened. You're finding what they want. You're building an offer around what they want. You're perfecting it, or you're actually creating it, and then you're perfecting it. So this is possible all because of you selecting a niche. And in doing that, now you're 70 to 80% of the way done. Your social media proof of concept is going to compound because it's not like I work here. It's like I only work in this space. So if I have a case study for a roofer, more roofers are going to want to come. And as more roofers come, the second I onboard them, look at this, I'm already 70 to 80% of the way done. The second I work with lawyers and I have a case study and another lawyer comes, I'm already 70 to 80% of the way done. So now I have a customizable product, not a custom product. And this is the process. You can see it's so simple. It's really not that complicated. So now that you have your offer perfected with just a handful of clients, you've got testimonials, you have case studies, you've been paid to build this, right? You're not paying for an education and then going out and trying to make it happen. You're getting paid while you're doing this, right? And if you follow this process the exact way I tell you to do it, then you've been documenting your journey, you've been building authority via social media, and now you can start promoting this offer to your groups, to your social media, to your connections, right? Get your process dialed in. You can automate where it's possible, and you keep improving with every additional client to have the fastest fulfillment possible and the deepest targeted messaging possible. This process is fast, it's lean, and it works no matter what space you are in. And remember, do not let a crackhead out hustle you. This is simple, but simple does not mean easy. It takes hustle. You've got to do it. You have to be willing to open up to feedback. You have to be willing to attack this process. You have to be willing to work with people for up to 3 months. And in that process, you will have a really, really solid offer that you can then build an entire digital agency around. This is called identifying business model fit. If you follow these steps, you will have a business, an agency that is ready to scale without wasting time or resources. And if you want a copy of this, head over to the pinned post on my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Alec J. Roy, and you can get it there. Hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions, let me know below.